Okay, let's unpack this. If you've ever felt that persistent churning stress of, I just don't know what I'm doing with my life, well, you are definitely not alone.
Mm-hmm. It's really common.
Yeah, and our source material for this deep dive, it's an excerpt from chapter15.pdf. It actually calls this out as a major stressor, especially, it seems, for younger adults.
Right.
So our mission today, let's dive into what this text says and explore its pretty surprising argument.
Oh.
Maybe this feeling, this not knowing, maybe it isn't a problem we need to fix. Maybe it's actually necessary.
Yeah, it's fascinating how the source just immediately tackles that pressure we all feel.
Totally.
It argues that this whole idea, this belief that we should have everything figured out, you'll know exactly what we're doing. Well, the text is pretty blunt.
Uh-oh, how blunt?
He calls it a heaping pile of socially crafted bullshit.
Whoa. Okay, it doesn't mess around. Socially crafted bullshit. But
Yeah.
holding us back, that feels really counterintuitive. Like, aren't we
Yeah.
thought having a plan is, responsible?
Exactly. And that's the core idea the source is pushing back against. It basically says, look, realistically, nobody has the whole big picture sorted
Right.
or knows for sure what they'll be doing 5 years from now. And pretending we do,
Yeah.
the source argues that's not responsible. It's actually kind of cutting ourselves off
Cutting ourselves off from what?
from our own internal guidance, our gut feeling, maybe forcing ourselves to follow some external map or an old story instead of listening to what feels right now.
And that connects to another really challenging idea in there, doesn't it? Something that might make people squirm a bit.
Yeah, it's pretty direct. It basically says you don't owe your younger self or those old expectations you had, you don't owe them anything.
Nothing.
Nothing. And the reason you don't have or aren't what you once thought you'd be, the source has this kind of tough love take, which is, it might just be because you don't want those things badly enough anymore. Simple as that. If your core desire was still there, you'd probably be chasing it.
Oof. That's stark, but maybe liberating too.
I think that's the intent, yeah. To liberate, not to blame. The source actually frames this whole not knowing state as often just a crucial transition period.
A transition.
Yeah. You're probably sitting right in that gap, between genuinely not wanting what you used to want and needing to give yourself permission, the freedom to figure out and go after what you want now. The uncertainty isn't emptiness. It's the space where that shift is actually happening.
Okay. So the not knowing isn't a failure, it's a sign you're evolving. That makes sense.
Right. And the source even argues against having that perfectly laid out path.
Against it? Why?
Because, and this is a direct quote again, having it all settled quells your hunger.
Quells your hunger. What does that mean exactly? Like makes you complacent.
Precisely. The idea is if you think you already know the destination, where's the drive for discovery, for striving, for, becoming? The text argues that a certain kind of hunger, not like being unhappy, but an active curiosity about what's next that's vital.
Vital for thriving.
Exactly. Complete certainty or thinking you're totally fulfilled, that can lead to stagnation. But this ongoing hunger, it keeps you actively engaged in creating your life.
Okay, so if we're letting go of the pressure to answer the huge question, what am I going to do with my life? And accepting uncertainty is kind of normal. Where does the source say we should focus instead?
It pulls the focus right back to the present, to the immediate.
Not the big future stuff.
Nope. Instead of that overwhelming question, the source suggests asking yourself really specific, concrete questions every day.
Like what kind of questions?
Things like, what are you doing today? Who do you love? What intrigues you? What would you do today if you could be anyone you wanted? Even, what do you want to do this weekend? Small stuff.
It's like zooming the camera lens way in, from the blurry future to right here, right now.
Exactly. And the most central question, the one it really hammers home, the one for every single day, is simply, what do I want?
What do I want? That's it. Not like, what should I want? Or what was I supposed to want?
Just, what do I want? Right now, the source argues that if you consistently ask that and genuinely listen for the answer, what do I want now, daily, then certain truths, real desires, they'll start to bubble up naturally. They'll reappear.
Like recurring themes.
Exactly. Those persistent little wants become the things you just find yourself following organically. They add up over time. They become the choices you make, the people you hang out with, the directions you lean into. And that's what shapes your life. Not some rigid plan, but authentic, step-by-step action based on what you want now.
Wow. Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, Maybe the huge stress we feel about not knowing what we're doing, maybe it isn't really about lacking a perfect map.
Yeah, maybe it's more about resisting this natural day-by-day process, this finding out what we genuinely want, just for today.
It's definitely a different way to look at it, a reframing.
Totally. So, for you listening, here's a final thought pulled straight from the source's conclusion. What if, just for today, you actually let go of the pressure, release the need to know the whole destination,
And instead,
and instead just paused and ask yourself honestly, what small thing do I truly want right now? Just see what comes up.